Hey there, friends. Coming at you here on another episode of the Pre-Ride Show presented by Envy. I'm sitting here at the end of one of the most technical dirt sectors of the entire BWR, the end of Lemon Twist, and we're just taking in the morning, overlooking the dam for Lake Hodges, and this sector will play a critical role very, very early in the race, as it's the very first sector the riders will dump onto. It's long, it's treacherous, it's rock-filled, and you kind of never know what you're going to get with it. Speaking of never knowing what you're going to get, Adam, what's going on? It's Adam Mills.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Adam, how you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. You just getting a little ride in?
Yeah, just trying out the new sector. I'm just going to set that down.
You got a second to sit down with us?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Cool. We're just here, a beautiful morning in San Diego. We're overlooking the Lake Hodges Dam. We're in the heart of a sector of the Lemon Twistenberg, which is one of the very first, most challenging sectors of the day. I'm sitting here with Adam Mills of Source Endurance. Adam, how you doing, bro?
I am doing well, getting excited about what's to come.
Right on. How many BWRs will this be for you?
It will be my fourth,
Okay.
I believe. Yeah.
And how you feeling? You fit? You're coming into it? You look great. Are you ready to tackle this thing in a few days?
I mean, I always look great, but you know, you're never fit enough. Yeah, everyone always thinks, myself included, you can always do more, and especially with the start list looking the way it does this year. The good news is I don't have to worry about it because I can't ride with those guys anyway. And the bad news is that I don't have to worry about it because I can't ride with those guys anyway. So.
Well, I think you're going to give it a go no matter what. I know you to be a very talented, very super technically astute rider, so I don't think you're gonna hold back anything. That's for sure.
That's true. That's true. Just try as hard as you can.
Let's talk a little bit about Source Endurance. You're the official coaching and training partner of the Belgian Waffle Ride Series, which is fantastic. When I think of Source Endurance, I think of a very scientific, very technically minded approach to racing and training. Is that kind of the principles it was founded on, and how you guys built this company that you have now?
Right, yeah, so I'm an exercise physiologist by training, and every one of our coaches also have an advanced degree in exercise science or something analogous, whatever the school calls it, where they went. And we use that expertise and that knowledge and education to help provide like a data-driven or science-based training for all of our clients across the board, whether it's couch to 10K or couch to whatever, or an elite athlete who is winning, you know, national and international level races.
That's fantastic. How long has Source Endurance been in business? What do you guys, and what's the next steps for you guys as you continue to grow?
So I took over the business in 2009. It was going into its third year at the time. And we've been going pretty strong ever since. We've been growing the number of coaches we have and trying to specialize in what each coach is particularly good at, so that I don't have to try and specialize in everything, or neither does one of our other coaches. We can just pass the baton to that particular coach. Yeah.
So you can work with racers across the spectrum, from elite level professionals on down to, like you said, the person coming right off the couch looking to get fit or maybe get back into the sport. Right. Let's talk a little bit about the mental side of cycling and just and athletics in general, because that's a huge component of it. Mm-hmm. When you look at an event like the BWR, 130 plus miles, 11,000 plus feet of climbing, how do you work with your athletes on getting over the mental elements of being able to achieve finishing, or even conceptualizing finishing a race like that?
Well, the good news is for Belgian Waffle Ride, because they've labeled all these sectors, you can break it down one sector at a time. Just finish one, do it well, you know, continue and move on. Very similar to like the way you know, a basketball play draws out, like hit your spot, move on to the next one, kind of thing. And just talking about like what are the particular goals for right here, like this section we're on now. What's your goal for this section? And you know, that's where we go from there, just bit by bit.
With all these sectors in mind, do you have a favorite? Is there one that you like or that fits you the best?
My favorite is the downhill section.
Mine too. I love all the downhill.
Coming out of Ramona, I forgot its name.
The Black Canyon coming back.
No,
back
the
down.
pavement section.
I see.
Because if you're in a group, it is 15 minutes of coasting at 40 miles an hour.
Good times.
And that's a good time for everybody. But as far as challenging goes, I really think the second run, the long run up Black Canyon on the way out towards Mesa Grande is probably the most important for a lot of people.
Right on.
Yeah.
We're in July. It's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot.
With that in mind, what are maybe the 2 or 3 top things you would advise any rider coming in, whether they are coming on their 9th attempt at BWR or whether they're just tackling it for the first time?
So everyone always hears drink water, drink water, drink water. I'm going to say drink water early, because by the time you get to well, people don't drink early because they're nervous, and you're in a gigantic group and you don't want to be, falling down, because that always is horrible. By the time you get out east, then you start drinking, but you're already behind. And we saw a lot of that anecdotally in Unbound Gravel, where a number of people quit at aid station 1 because until then it's all tight groups and everyone's nervous.
You can't get your hands off the bar to even bother to drink.
Right. And they overextend physically, they overextend their hydration status. And then by the time they hit aid station 1, they're vomiting, cramping, have chills, like all those heat illness, like check boxes, they've got them all and they have to quit.
So the old adage applies, if you're thirsty, it's a little too late. So start drinking way earlier.
Right, start drinking way early.
Yeah.
And then on sections like this or the whole first 2 hours, like you can't win the race in the first 2 hours. You can only lose it. I heard someone talking about it on the Tour de France. Like, you can't win the Tour in the first week. You can only lose it. So just don't lose. And same goes for this event. Like, you can't win here on the way out. You can only lose it here. So just don't fall down. Be calm. Don't be super aggressive. Just manage risk.
Stay within yourself.
Right.
And then, like you said, don't worry about what time you might think you're losing early in the race, because as long as you stay within your own abilities, you're going to make up for that and then some later in the race.
Right. Especially because it's by places, it's not really by time. And if you're racing for a place, like when I totally imploded in 2019 out here, which was incredible in and of itself, I was riding in a group racing for maybe 35th or so, and I finished like well into the hundreds. So I was consistently bad the whole last half of the ride.
The coach got a little schooled there, huh?
More like, well, yes. We'll just say yes.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all learn our lessons out here one way or the other.
Right.
And the bike is a great test of that.
Right. I underestimated the difference between like the Colin Strickland, Pete Stettner group and my own. And so I paid the high price for it later.
Source Endurance has been working with BWR for a few years now, and you guys are, among many other things, known for the great training camps that you put on.
Right.
And we've got a few of those queued up throughout the rest of the BWR series. Tell us a little bit about that and what the riders can maybe look into in terms of both bettering their own skills and abilities, but also getting some great insight on the other courses that are in the BWR series.
Right. So,
did he get you?
Hurt, yeah. Hurt a lot. In all these events, there's like the home court advantage effect. And so if you know the course and you pre-ride the course, it gives you a huge advantage in the race. And that's what we try and like bring to the campers. And as well as like, this is how you should pace this. This is how you should eat. This is, what the crucial turn looks like, that sort of stuff.
So coming up for Cedar City, we have more of a recon camp in the few days leading up to the ride, right? What's that all about? Are we going to have some folks out there and be able to break apart the course into smaller chunks and have a look at it that way?
Right, exactly. And so like what I found at Cedar City was that the first climb is a little deceiving, and that but also the first descent is very important to understand, like where can you go fast, where do you need to slow down for. And the sight lines are bad because the sun's in your eyes. So if you know what that looks like and feels like already, then it gives you a pretty good advantage to get down that thing safely. I remember when I came down it in the race, there's people lying everywhere on the ground because they would overcook a corner or misjudge a thing.
Yeah. So. And then in October, we go to your old stomping grounds in Lawrence.
Yes.
And for that event, we've got more of a proper training camp that's a few months out, right? That can be able to give you some insight on the course and the town and everything like that, but then also set out a very specific training program to finish the race.
Right. And that's very much like the January camp that we do for the San Diego event. you know, Lawrence, Kansas, and that whole area around there was carved out by glaciers. So there's a bunch of 2 to 3 minute long, 10 to 12% gravel road climbs, which for all those at home, like that's just a really big VO2 effort, about every other mile. And it's 111 miles of it. So that's a lot of high power stuff. And you have to understand how to manage yourself there. I grew up riding there. The guy in charge out there and I have known each other for years. So, and he has told me it's probably one of the hardest ones, one of the hardest routes you can make in that area.
And that's going to be more of a proper gravel race where the surface is it's not just dirt, packed dirt. It's a really unique type of rock that you'll be riding on the majority of the day.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I am not privy to the details of that course.
Oh, okay. We're keeping that under wraps here
Right.
for a while. Okay.
Right.
Where can people go to find out more about Source Endurance and learn about the great camps you guys have offered?
Sourceendurance.com is probably the easiest way to get there, and then there's a whole website for it.
Cool.
Yeah.
We look forward to it. Quick hit. Any predictions on the race? Anybody you like that's looking good, men and women?
Man, I'm liking Neil Shirley.
Right.
It is the year of the Masters rider.
I love it. All
so
right.
I'm banking on Neil.
Okay. How about on the women's side?
On the women's side, Whitney Allison.
Oh, I think Whitney's a top choice out there.
Right.
Right on. Adam, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been great. We look forward to seeing how well you do and
Yeah.
appreciate everything that Source Endurance does for BWR and the riders.
Always, yeah. Good to see you out here.
Right on. Thanks for looking into this episode of the Pre-Ride Show presented by Envy. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and click the little bell next to it so that you get notifications of all the future episodes that drop during our time here in San Diego. Thanks for looking in. Did you get stung?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Like,
Dude, I almost broke because it
like
was a bee.
right there.
Yeah. I think I'm going to grab it.
See the
Still
stinger?
in there.
Did you get it? Okay. Little fucker.